Hi ho, let's go.
Let's go. Rock and roll will never die.
Never die, dude. Never die.
New York City, CBGBs, dude.
CBGBs, I thought it was called.
Yo, dude.
Did you say Kibi?
Bro, did you just say Kibi? Hi, Alon.
Hey, welcome. This is a game club episode. Sean and I recorded a mini club episode of 5 different games. Our Discorders voted on Kirby's Dream Course for the game club episode.
And there was no electioneering involved.
Oh my God.
Nobody moved the needle with force.
So hop on Discord if you want to vote on the next game or chat or play along with us or whatever. Rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends, enemies, lovers, haters, etc. Thanks for listening, and let's get into Kirby's Dream Course.
As always, the question of a wide flank podcast recording session is, where do we start? And the answer is always, who knows? It doesn't matter. We could start with the notion of checkerboards, right?
Okay. You want to talk about grids? You want to talk Marble Madness?
Let's talk about the grid. Let's talk about Marble Madness, dude. Let's talk about a ball rolling through an isometric space, an illusion of the 3 dimensions that we know so well from our earthbound olfactory perceptions.
Now, Earthbound, was that a HAL reference, dude? Because this game's made by HAL.
You did not just say Kiwi, dude.
Double entendre, dude. Fucking Marble Madness. I was getting Kula World, Axes, which we did a little dev talk about.
This was like...
Yeah.
Kiwi... Axes is like a static. Kula World's like a static version of Kirby's Dream Course. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to say about Kirby's Dream Course, this is a game that's fluid. It's about movement and angles and bouncing and trying to control movement and angles and bouncing. But at the end of the day, you can't control it. You can't control Kibi.
So the titular course that Kirby's dreaming about or whatever is supposed to be golf.
A golf course.
A golf course.
Yes. Did we say the name of the game?
I said it at the beginning, but is this golf? I mean, I feel like that is our first topic where we're kind of talking about all these other games. Because I'm like, is this golf? Is it mini golf? Is it pool? Is it pinball? What is this?
Speaking of mini, I want to invoke the mini club and how your first take on this game was, it's golf. I get it. Whatever. I'm fucking done with Kibi's Dreamland. And the notion of this could, I got answers to all your burning questions.
Hit me.
Golf, billiards. Can I hit you with this? First of all, you want to know what game HAL Laboratory developed in 1983 for the MSX?
Oh man, my spidey senses are tingling. I think it might be 1984's Hole-in-One.
Pretty sweet, dude. Oh, somebody did their research, dude.
Hello. Game Club.
No, they made a game called Super Billiards for the MSX in 1983. So literally one of the studio's earliest games is quite literally a billiards game. Because let's talk about Kirby's Dream Course. Like, the mechanics of this game are very much like some weird combination of pool, golf, and Kirby. Like the top level question I had about the game, to get a little serious about it, we're having a lot of fun.
Stop.
I love golf games, I love Kirby games, but my gut take about this game is that this game doesn't really feel quite like a golf game or quite like a Kirby game. It's its own thing.
I mean, your favorite critic, Jeremy Parrish, called it a sports platforming puzzler. I had in my notes while I was playing, I was like, this is just a puzzle game, or maybe trick shot pool is what I wrote down. Like, I don't even, that's not even a sport. That's
because of bouncing off the, here's
the curve. Like, when I say trick shot pool, I want the listeners to imagine like Freak with like the thing behind his back, like hitting the pool ball at an insane angle
yeah,
to like jump over a pool ball with backspin that rolls back, you know, like those
Yeah.
kind of shots.
Those types of physics, kind of. And
Yeah,
like
yeah,
even
yeah.
without invoking that freak, there's an even simpler thing, which is like, I'll tell you one thing that you don't do in golf is you don't bounce off the walls of the course. Like you can't factor in angles when you're playing.
You do in
golf.
mini golf, which is interesting.
Ooh la la.
You do in mini golf. There's
Speak on
bumpers,
that.
there's obstacles, there's things. Here's a generality for you to chew on. Is like I wrote, this is so stupid, but I wrote it in my notes. I'm gonna say it. I said golf is open world, mini golf is on rails. Like, so mini golf tells you how to hit a hole in one pretty much by the design of the course. Same with Kirby in a way, but it's more ambiguous because you can choose where the hole's going to be.
Yeah.
But mini golf IRL is sort of like hit it off this, it'll bounce off this, it'll go through this tunnel, it'll pop up, it'll go in. Then you have to hit it at the right angle and right speed for all of those things to happen, but it tells you exactly what to do. Whereas golf, it kind of is just like, there's the hole, hit it that way.
It's the
That's
expanse.
your only guide. Yeah.
Golf is you're looking at the expanse of possibility of a million possible iterations of how a single hole can go. But mini golf is like, there's like 4 iterations, and you might like fuck up real bad and make a total ass of yourself in front of your date. But like, really, there's like 2 things you can do on a mini golf course.
I mean, and Kirby's Dream Course to me is like more similar to that, where it's like you always like spawn or whatever, tee off at like a spot, and it's like, all right, is that warp pad behind me a red herring? Should I go for that? Or am I just going to do the obvious thing that already has me aiming like straight at the next thing or whatever?
The more I played this game, I started just going with like, you know what? The first time I'm on a course, like this is like an exploration round. Like I'm just going to... I didn't even know that you could like scan and look at the whole board
I was doing that
like
a lot.
Weeks into playing the game. There are mechanics that still elude me in this video game.
For sure.
But I got to a point where I was just like, smash that Kirby, see where he goes. Oh, okay. Oh, and sometimes, oddly enough, it would like the red herring would reveal itself, you know. But it is. But you're right in saying like you could make the choice of like, I should try and hit the warp now, dude. And that's its own version of just like making a choice and going with it and seeing what happens.
Yeah, and to me, that's part of that is like one of the cores of why this isn't golf. I like golf. I've never played golf, but so I'm just speaking from like what I know of golf. But golf isn't a puzzle. Like golf,
okay,
you always know if you hit a good shot or a bad shot in golf because you always are going towards the thing. And if you get closer to the thing, it was better, and if you're further from it, it was bad.
If you're in the rough,
the rough, it's rough. If you're in the water, you're toast. But like, you know, the way the course is cut, it's literally like guiding you towards the hole.
Yeah,
and anything you do outside of that is bad. Whereas in mini golf and in Kirby's, you're just like, I think this will work. I'm gonna put some spin on it and put some air on it, and like try and use my item right before I hit that tree to jump over, or ability, I should say, not item. You know, and it's like it's just kind of like crazy. I don't even know if this is good or bad until, you know, I finish the level.
It's much like real world mini golf. You find if you're like fucking up in Kirby's Dream Course, like it is like very apparent. Your ball just like goes off the level, and there is like a real world analog, which is like being a fucker, being a 12-year-old smart aleck on the mini golf club and going ha and hitting it way too hard, and it bounces onto someone else's course, and then like some adults are like, hey, you know,
knock an eye out or whatever. I mean, this game is so hard.
Can we describe what this game, just because we can't trust that people are Googling Kirby's Dream Course while listening to this. Can we just do a 2-minute explanation of what the game looks like? checkerboard.
You want to take this away?
You're looking at a checkerboard in an isometric view. You got the pink circle we all know and love named Kirby of HAL Laboratory and Masahiro Sakurai. And you're hitting that ball with the mechanics of every golf video game since the HAL Laboratory assisted golf for the NES.
Yes.
We'll get into that. But the point is you're using a meter to just designate how hard you're hitting this ball. You can curve the ball, and the mechanics of the game are you move across this checkerboard thing and encounter a variety of challenges. You have to hit enemies. And there's enemies on the board, and you hit the enemies, and when you've hit all of them, the last enemy turns into a hole, and then you sink the ball into the hole. There's more details to the game, but that's basically the start of it.
It's golf, but with a Kirby twist. It's Mario Kart, but for mini golf.
Yo!
Like these are the bad elevator pitches that I was like hearing in my brain while playing this game. Like, $1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? $1 billion. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Plus
I get it.
one. Can I just read the back of the box?
Oh, yeah. I want to hear this.
Zip across checkerboard fairways high above the earth. Scan the course and check out the obstacles ahead. Get ready for the most surprising gameplay imaginable
Okay.
in Kirby's battle against King Dedede. This checkerboard challenge brings outrageous hazards and bizarre surfaces, warp panels, conveyor belts, turntables, Gordo, Kracko, wispy woods. It's just listing stuff. Defeat zany enemies. Do you understand?
This game's so hard.
This game's
thought it was
freaking twisted.
So hard.
It's fucking hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the punishment for fucking around is extremely high. Like we're talking about like you don't know if it's a good shot or bad, but if you just like try some dumb shit a couple times, you just get a game over screen and you're just dead.
It's like, well,
yeah, that sucked. Or if you have like a bad couple shots and you're just like stuck underwater with no abilities, it's like I'm probably gonna hit a game over because I'm gonna use all my tomatoes.
But I'll tell you why I love that. I love how harsh it is because it's like even if you're goofing up major and like losing very clearly, you're still like learning. You're constantly. This is becoming the theme of my journey with Wide Flank. Like, how do players learn information? How do designers teach players? And this game, like, it is like, it's pretty harsh. But at the same time, even when you screw up, you're learning like, oh, can't do that. Or like, sometimes you think you're fucked and then you try something out and like, it kind of works out and you're like, oh, maybe I can bring that. To say nothing of the fact that it's like, you can just start the course over and you bring all the knowledge you've acquired. Like, okay, on this course, I need to do this. On this course.
You can just start a course over?
No, you have to go back to the course.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I was annoyed that you can't do that.
No, there's no retry in this game. It's like, go back to the course, select, start from hole 1 of a given course. That's a question I have for you. How deep into this game did you get?
I think I got to course 6.
Oh, you did better than me. I only got to course 5.
There's 8 courses with 8 holes each, which is, by the way, further proof that this obviously isn't golf because it's not 9 holes or 18. Why'd they do 8? It's so weird.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, and then I don't know if you know this, but if you gold every hole, you get 8 more courses.
Like new courses?
With 8 holes each.
Cool, dude.
Yeah, it's
this game just goes on
play
forever.
This game for hundreds of hours because it takes so long and you have to get so good without save stating. You have to be insane at this game.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is like,
please,
the inability to restart levels is like kind of a good place for me to kick off because golf games to me are all about feel. It's all about the physics and getting used to like how hard you're hitting something, how much spin you're putting on something, and like sort of dialing that in and mastering that.
Like imagining what's gonna happen when I input this type of change to the game, and you don't know until you release and like watch it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that where I struggled with this game and was frustrated in a bad way, because there's also frustration in a good way, was that like I feel like the game didn't let me have fun and fuck around. The goal of the game is to like golf well. The goal of the game isn't to like experiment. You know what I mean?
As silly as the coat of paint of the game is, it is like nevertheless like it feels more demanding than like a more simulation minded golf, which is like again on the open world, wide open field of like you really gotta beef it and ignore the wind to like majorly fuck up your strokes in like Mario Golf or whatever. Like,
it's just like even the demo play, which by the way you gotta watch to even understand what's going on in this game. You told me about it in the mini club. I did it after that, and I was like, oh, this is how you play. But even the demo play doesn't let you play.
It just
like it's
shows,
insane. It just shows you playing it. So it's like just put this spin on it and use the tornado ability. I'm like, literally my notes are like that was the most cracked shot of all time. Exactly. I'll never do that.
It shows footage of just like sinking putts, like,
the greatest ever hits.
Which like. Oddly enough, there are moments where you fucking nail shots in this game, but it's rarely because it's like, I'm going to nail this one. It's because you like ended up in a circumstance where like the arc of your pop shot is like right into the hole, or it's like, and like it feels fucking sick when you do nail those shots. I kept snapping my fingers and going, yes, like a golfer.
I mean that touches on my good version of frustration, which I feel like more than other sports games, golf probably captures like what it feels like to play in real life. Golf games capture what it plays. Yeah, because totally. That sort of like tension, like emotional damage when you're really fucking up, and the euphoria of hitting a great shot is all like very real.
Well, it brings to mind the question of like, how the fuck do people sink hole-in-ones in real golf?
How do you hit a ball a period? I've never played, but someone tried to explain it to me once. That it was like, you actually don't like aim at the ball. You aim like under the ball. I have no idea. You squish it down and compress it, and then like it launch. I was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but yeah, the frustration is a good version, right? In this game where it's like, I hate that there's a punishment for fucking around, but at the same time, it's like it's just a hard game that you can get better at in a, Dark Souls kind of way or whatever.
Well, it feels like. Would you say that this is sort of your thesis about the game, or is this just like one of your multitudinous ideas about the game?
I think this is my main thing, but I have more to go than this. I have more stuff around this. Yeah, but go ahead.
I mean, it's because like I keep orbiting like the same idea with the game basically, which is like it's a game that's about mastery, but is ultimately beholden to chance. Like it is like you can learn and get better and better at the game, but like there are so many variables that like inevitably it still is a game of chance. And like that's kind of part of why I love it. You're talking about like good frustration and bad frustration. I'm thinking about it in terms of like just you're never gonna win, baby. You just gotta play, which like that like really resonates with me and like the types of games I tend to enjoy. Of like mastery is an illusion, brother.
Yeah.
So it's like I could keep riffing on that, but I just wanted to.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, it's just I if a game is really hard and frustrating, then like I want to be able to trust them that there's promise on the other side of that, and I will get better if I keep playing. Yeah, and I played around 5 hours of this game, and I think I got maybe 1% better,
a little better,
like barely better at all. Like I'm hitting a couple shots better, couple strokes better, but I'm nowhere near being able to beat the game. Nowhere near.
Well, is it? What do you think you got better at in the game?
Well, I got better at understanding the stuff that's really hard to understand. I think. Oh, I don't know. I missed it anyway. But
I burped off mic and I thought it was audible.
Oh, I'll add in a really loud burp in post. But like I was just playing before we got on, and there's like. One of the early levels, you have to hit like a chip shot and then as you're bouncing, you're gonna hit into a tree. So I
Mhm.
was like, oh, maybe I can put spin on my chip shot. And I bounced and I went around the tree and then
Yeah,
I
dude.
got a tornado and I was like, oh, that was kind of clean. But like
Yeah.
that's like there's still the level that's basically just a downward slope, and I still just basically died on that level. I lost like all my lives on that level.
Well, it's like
I'm just
each. So
yeah.
yeah, it's part of how this game operates is like you learn the ball, you learn the boy, you learn the Kirby, but also you're learning the individual boards. Like there's
Yeah.
this like meta thing of like learning the mechanics of like how the angles of the boards work and like how the power system works and like
yeah.
those sort of numbers. But then there's like the more tangible aspects of the game, which are like the ball that you're shooting and the board that the ball is interacting with. And the whole reason I'm going on and on about this is related to what you were saying, and I'm trying to remember what the connection was. But it was something about like you can learn how to do these different things in the game, but ultimately like you're beholden to the board. And it's the idea of like, yeah, you figured out how to go around the tree, and then you get a new level that's like an entirely different board with an entirely different set of challenges, and the whole tree shtick is not useful information
Completely
on
useless.
that board. Like you are beholden to the board.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I got so excited when you mentioned the idea of like restarting a course, because I was like, are you kidding me? I would have done that 100 times.
That's where a save state might just be like,
Yeah,
you know what?
I didn't use it, but this game is
me neither.
made for save states. All you want to do is get better. That's like the whole time I was just like, is the player able to golf consistently? Is the player able to know where shots are going? Is the player able to get better?
Yeah.
And my answer, and it sounds like sort of your answer, is like, not really.
Sort of.
Sort
but then
of.
sometimes it goes, whoa.
Yeah,
and, you're
and
like,
sometimes you don't time the meter perfectly, even though you have the shot lined up perfectly, right? And then it just all goes to shit.
And those are all those like deeper like meta variables of like that's where the game becomes kind of like infinite. Like you can learn the boards. You can learn like I gotta grab the tornado on level 3 so I can loop around the tree on level 4.
Right.
But like that's the sort of stuff that sort of wigs me out about game design sometimes of like it's like executing on the hard thing is less interesting to me than like I hope this works out, or I'm gonna try this thing out, or or something like that. Sorry, I feel like you were still arcing towards something. Keep going.
Oh, I don't know if I was or I wasn't, but I mean, like, just we're kind of all over the place, but we're talking like the same world, but
language.
Yeah, like on the level design. I'm curious what you thought of the level design, but I felt like. And we were kind of riffing about game reviews before we started, but I feel like I can hear people say like, each course is filled with obstacles, enemies, ramps. Yeah, like moving platforms, bouncy things, and conveyor belts. The imagination of Candyland or whatever. And I'm just like, they're okay.
That is what it is.
Yeah, like they're very okay.
Can
like
I tell you which one I like the most? I think.
Okay.
It's the air vents that blow you up.
Air vents are
like
cool.
You go like whoa,
yeah,
and it and you can sort of like. But again, I like those because of what I'm saying. Of like each of those feels like a chance object that's like I don't know what this is gonna do because like some of the different like board pieces operate in ways that are like very easy to understand and are like way more turnkey. And then there's this thing where the board just like twists on a square, and it's like who knows like. The degree of strength and angle that you hit the twisting thing with influences how it's gonna twist. So it's like, who knows? I'm just gonna have to figure this one out.
Oh my god!
It sounds like you're not into that shit.
No, I mean I had fun in spurts, but I can only play so much of this type of game while not getting better at it at all. Like, like you know what I mean? I'd have a good run, I'd get some birdies and whatever, and then I would just have like a 8-shot nightmare where I kept falling off the course. And I'm just like, that just wasn't fun. Like I'm not good at this game, and it wants me to be good at this game, otherwise I can't advance.
So
I'm like rubbing up against it in a bad way.
And you want to believe that those like 8-shot rounds reflect like tension building or something,
Right,
but like,
right.
but honestly, and I'm coming in hot. Like I think I love this game. I don't know. I'm playing it, baby.
Yeah.
That's more my feeling about it. Like it's a game that demands you fucking like play it. But the point is I don't think those hard boards or those 8-hit runs like necessarily feel like tension builders or whatever. It's just like fuck.
Yeah.
Like anytime I would
That's
get
all
to
it is.
yeah, it's just repeatedly screwing up and then like feeling disappointed and maybe learning something, maybe not.
Yeah.
And I feel like anytime I got to hole 8 of a given course and like all of a sudden found out like, oh, I've got 1 shot left. Like that was
he makes that sad little sound.
He would go whoop whoop whoop
Yeah,
whoop
yeah.
to let you know like this is it. But which I kind of love.
Sad.
I'm sad. You better not ruin this for me, or I'll die.
Yeah.
You kill Kirby in this game. You
Many
knock
times.
him right off the board. But it's like anytime I would hit a level 8 and shit would be like dire, it was just like, yeah, I know why this is dire. I fucked up level 4. Like, it's not like, oh, I really got to nail this one. It's like, who knows if I'm going to nail this one?
Right.
And then anytime you do good, it's just like, well, I did good on those earlier ones. So this one, I kind of have a few extra shots and I'll probably be able to make it. Like it's and that's like a critical thing I'm saying. Like I don't think that's a good thing that I'm describing, because I think like tension is exciting, but it's like it then comes to my mind of like, where is the tension in this game then? Like what keeps the player playing this game? It's not really what keeps you playing the game, Alon?
Having
to record a podcast.
Literally, I'm not going to keep playing. I mean, I listened back to our like 10 minutes of mini club or whatever, and your direct quote was like, I want to sink my teeth into this, but I can also see myself just chilling and playing it.
Yeah.
And I laughed at that line because it's like, you know, tricks on you. It's not chill at all.
It is not chill.
It's
no.
super unchill and frustrating. And it's just like, playful learning. That was a false promise, you know?
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
I mean, there are things we talked about in the mini club that like did not come to bear. Like I was all ready to be like, every Kirby ability is going to completely change the game. And it's like, not really. It's
Not
just
really.
the boards.
Yeah.
It's just the meta. It's just the numbers and the boards.
Yeah.
That's the game.
Yeah.
Like it's which like, it's why one of my top level questions was like, is this golf? Is this Kirby? Does it matter? I had a more highfalutin. I had a whole a shtick of wide flank back at it, being obsessed with adaptation, because I wanted to ask.
There we go.
Is this an adaptation of golf or is this an adaptation of Kirby? But it's like it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a spin-off of Kirby, I guess.
It's a game that was. This is a hell of a segue if I ever did. If I dare say it myself. This isn't an adaptation of Kirby. This is some Kirby aesthetics and design choices pasted onto a game design that
T-shot
was already created, named Special T-Shot. Welcome to the game club within the game club. We're now covering Special T-Shot.
Did you play any?
I played a little bit. Yeah,
I played a little too. Yeah,
I tried to boot it up on one of my devices and it crashed out. And I was like, oh, I think I have to get like a special patched version of this.
Okay.
But then I found whatever short version. Yes, I played a little bit of it. Did you play it?
Yeah, I played it. So Special T-Shot was a finished golf game, mini golf game in 1992.
It was being shown at CES.
Yeah.
It was being previewed in magazines.
Yep.
It was even again. This is all boilerplate shit that you can read on Wikipedia in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
but like. Whatever. Let's pretend you don't have access to that and you don't care. The game was so far along that like images of it were on the box of the Super Nintendo, because it was like, get a Super Nintendo so you can play Special T-Shot from our development partners at HAL Laboratory.
Yeah, and the story that I read very briefly was, you know, it was ready to go in 92. All the like execs and C-level people or whatever were playing it. And then Miyamoto himself was like, shut it down. We're adding Kirby because Kirby, whatever the first Kirby game is, was doing so well.
I think, Kirby's Dream Land was like a surprise hit.
And so it was killing it. So all of a sudden they had this, I don't know, new IP or mascot or whatever. And they're like, we need to make a shit ton of Kirby games. People love Kirby.
Yeah.
And so they're just shut it down, added Kirby, added Kirby's abilities,
added 2 years of development.
Added 2 years of development.
Like, it was not like just a shoop. It's like they had to build out a lot of assets, and there's new mechanics. Like it's significantly different, but it's also significantly similar to the special. And the whole reason we're talking about this is because of the notion of like, where did this game come from? Like, how come they wanted to do Kirby golf? And it's like a pretty craven, just like, because they had a solid fun golf idea, and Kirby was making money.
Yeah, literally,
that's good for the bank.
That's it.
Yeah, which like I don't have an opinion about either way, really. Like, whatever.
I liked it,
and
it was. All of these complaints that I had, not all of them, I don't know what I'm talking about, but a lot of them were
mitigated by Special T-Shot.
Yes, because like all of these abilities and all the extra Kirbiness of it all was a money grab, and it did not add to the game. It kind of made the game more clunky, in my opinion. Like it was.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, it's. I think about it. And for the layman listener, Special T-Shot is a zany golf game.
It's the same game.
It's the same game with a bunch of different mechanics, basically. And I just bristle at the idea, like because it's like I do agree with you that like some of the things that were added to the game definitely like sort of muddy it up in a way that's like maybe interesting, maybe not, but there are certain aspects of the design where I'm like, oh, I like that Kirby's Dream Course does this. And then there's certain things about Special T-Shot where I'm like, oh, I like that it's like simpler. Like Special T-Shot, one of the crucial design things of this Kirby's golf game, this Kirby's Golf Party, is that you, like we said, you have to kill the enemies to reveal the hole. So it's this like hyper directional game. Special T-Shot is oriented. It's just there's a hole. It's oriented more like the mini golf that we know. But at the same time, Kirby's Dream Course lets you curve Kirby. Special teacup golf does not let you curve the ball, and I feel like that
you can slice.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you can slice.
Oh, but it's like you slice it in the like the way
in
that
the meter.
There's a slice meter as opposed to like a very discrete
so
like
Kirby's Dream Course. For those who haven't played, you hold a button. I think it's like B on SNES or whatever, and you get this like little picture of Kirby's ass, and you move it to where you want the spin to be or whatever.
With like a cross on his ass.
Vertically it's for top spin, down for backspin, etc.
It's showing you where you would be hitting Kirby with a golf club.
If there were golf clubs in the game. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
But Special T-Shot, it's just you aim, and then you press the shoot button, and then you get a power meter and a where on the ball you want to hit meter.
And that where on the ball meter, it moved quick. That's its own thing. I'm just like, again, fun in its own right.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a lovely thing that the prototype ROM was like discovered.
It's great, yeah.
And like, and I have information about who discovered it and when, but it's like whatever. It's pretty recent, honestly. It's like within the last. It was initially in 2004. Someone bought it on eBay and was just like documenting it. But in 2019, someone found it at a pawn shop and like dumped it to the internet, and that's how we're
so
playing it.
That is so cool.
I should say the names of the people. I'm getting in the weeds.
No, you shouldn't. They're not listening. They don't care.
Not listening. One of them's Canadian. How about that?
Definitely don't say it, dude.
But yeah. Sorry, keep going.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. I haven't thought about it before this, but it's sort of like Super Mario Tennis, a game that we play a lot of
in
our
mia.
couch co-op hangs.
That's so nice.
What makes Super Mario Tennis so good, and a game that we keep coming back to, isn't Mario.
Mario's like a secondary thing.
It's the tennis.
It's the tennis.
We love the tennis.
Yeah. The tennis mechanics are. It's about Mario in as much as the different characters play differently, but you could have like a Federer avatar that has certain stats. Federer?
Is that
a good reference?
Yeah.
Anna Kournikova?
Yeah, great ref. Yeah. But so that's where I'm rubbing up against this game, is that I feel like the change from Special Tee Shot to Kirby was them being like, let's Kirbify it, gang. And everyone's like, yeah, Kirby.
Kirby rocks, dude.
EB. But they lost what could have been, they lost the golf of it all in the process, the mini golf core of like getting better and the holes and stuff. And I feel like it's not that I don't like the enemy and moving hole thing, or I don't like any specific ability. It's just too much. It's like playing Super Mario Tennis with power shots, which obviously we don't do.
Even when we join a Discord of people who play Mario Tennis online, and it becomes kind of a point of conflict that we don't want to use power shots. And they say, okay, now we're using power shots.
Yeah.
We'll teach you why it's so good. And we're all like,
this kind of sucks. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like the core golf of it. Well, it's like it speaks to how, because like Special Tee Shot is not itself like a golf simulation game. It's just like zany golf.
It's kind of a zany mini golf game.
Yeah.
In a straight up way. Like there is like one ability special or whatever, but it's basically a mini golf game on Super Nintendo, and everything you're imagining is in that game. Whereas Kirby is so different.
Kirby's Dream Course is kind of, it's like even further defamiliarized from golf.
Yes.
It's a hat on a hat. When you're playing Kirby's Dream Course, you wouldn't think like, I wish there was a simpler, maybe you would think, I wish there was a simpler version of this design. Because when you're playing Kirby's Dream Course, it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
This is all just, and like, it's part of why I love the game. It's just like, this is this game. There ain't no other game like this one.
Yeah.
Even if like, there is, and it's called Special Tee Shot. It's like, no, when you're playing Kirby's Dream Course, it's like, oh, I guess they made a Kirby golf game. That's a lot of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, it's interesting to look back at an earlier iteration of the design and see like, oh, there was a solid game design core already. And like, what happens when it's the phrase of putting a hat on a hat, If zany golf is already a hat, Kirby, it's zany golf. It's like a further... And I think Kirby
It's like
Dream
what
Course,
I said in the Bond episode. It's like a big game of telephone, right? It's like golf game to mini golf game to zany mini golf game. And then the last one was just like Kirby,
dude.
It's like, yo,
he eats guys.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And it's, again, I was about to stop myself and be like, it's not, I don't think Kirby's Dream Course is a poorly designed game. Like that's not what we're saying. I don't think so
either. Yeah,
we're just saying it's a game that it's busy. It's like a
lot of stuff.
Busy. Yeah. And I think what's exciting about the game for me is like, maybe I'll learn that stuff. Maybe I won't. Who cares? I'm playing, baby. And what's frustrating about the game for you is I'm never going to learn all this stuff. Like, it's it's kind of, we're coming at the same thing and just sort of drawing our own conclusions. And it's not like
I want to be babied a little. I want to be breadcrumbed a little to be like, oh, I just like fucking nailed that shot and it wasn't complete random luck. And you rarely get that in this game. Like, I got it a couple times, but at the same time, the only hole in one I ever got was a complete fucking fluke.
It was a fluke, yeah.
I shot it, it bounced, I got hit by the lightning fucker, which I launched the ball a different direction, and then I was like, oh, hole in one. It's like very,
not replicatable at all.
Never replicatable,
Totally.
It's interesting.
It's interesting for sure. before we move on from Special's tee shot entirely, I just want to point out some other stuff about it.
Talk to
that
me.
it's like I mean, no, this is basically just a list of things about it. Basically,
That's your favorite thing to do, though.
Podcasting. When I was playing it in that game, you draw. So in Kirby's Dream Course, you draw a little avatar for your character.
I couldn't believe you do that in Special T.
That came from Special T shot.
I just assumed that was like cute Kirby Nintendo thing, and it was not at all.
No.
Yeah.
It's the Special T shot. It gives you like an overlay of. It gives you like a visual of
I love that,
the polygons of a course before you play it, like a zoom out,
really zoomed out, like you're looking at a diorama of the course
detail
or something. Yeah, it's like
that's just like aesthetically cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And that's not. I don't want this to just be the comparing Special T shot and Kirby show, but it's like I think the telling thing is like what happens in iteration, like what happens when you like keep designing. On our last episode with Adam Saltzman talking about Dust Bunny, like one of his things was like, they say 10% of your ideas are good. What if 90% of your ideas are good? You just don't have like the resources to execute upon them.
Yeah.
What like the transition from Special T shot to Kirby's Dream Course says to me is like, I don't think it's too much iteration. It's just like, look at how much a game design can change like over time, kind of. And like when do you, it's there's musical analogs to it too, you know, like what was it, the whatever, it's like a band like overproducing something, basically. Like we've all heard music that's like overproduced, and it's like there's a lot going on, and like
I mean that was Hack thing on Eternal Darkness, right?
Well, keep going.
No, like he just kept coming back to like sort of his core of that game, which was just like it was over designed. Like no one said no. And yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in the game, but no one considered. And you know, we're just referencing Wide Flank episodes too. But there was also the oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. The iPhone auto battler,
Parney.
There was also the Parney episode where he really had it down to like a science of like, if you add this icon to the screen, it exponentially raises the amount of information the players
get
know.
Hella confused.
Yeah, so but like it feels like in sort of like that over designed sphere, I feel like that's not considered. Like maybe it feels like you're just adding one thing, but by adding one thing, what happens as a player is you just added 100 things, because it could be used in a million different ways and combined with different items and abilities. And it's like, whoa, this is way too much to understand. Like I watched some YouTubes of like, you know, the later levels and stuff, and they're insane.
Do they get real bonko? Yeah.
It's like you have to know what to do beforehand, sort of levels. Like you have to hit it, bounce off that wall, use that ability. You're using 5 abilities per shot because you're getting new abilities while in an ability. So you're like
involved.
Got the UFO, fly it to the ice guy, go over the frozen lake, then get into the wheel, which goes over the sand trap, which then like flies into this thing and then parasol down into the hole. Yeah. And it's like, that was fucking, no one could ever do that. Well, what is this?
I think it goes back to an idea that we were starting to talk about earlier episode, and that like we've talked about on the show a bunch, which is like learning by playing. And that it's like, of course you're not going to nail a course where you have to, like, this is not a game that you really can play on the fly.
Oh,
like,
no, not at all.
Shot to shot, each individual shot is a moment to like get a bearing of your situation and be like, oh, like, should I try this? Like, what's the implication of this? Like, da. But like, it's hard. You cannot, and you can look at the whole board and sort of map out your thing, but you don't know where your ball's going to go. Yeah. And like, it is truly a game that you learn by playing, and like there's no other way to learn it other than by and that's, you know, that's something I've struggled with in other game designs. I couldn't tell you why Kirby's Dream Course, I mean, I could try to figure out in real time, but like for some reason Kirby's Dream Course works for me in terms of like demanding that, oh, I have to play this and like I have to like sort of fuck up to like figure out what to do. I think it's like just like it's the Nintendo thing of like moment to moment play that like literally what you're doing is playful and fun. So like whatever. Like I think it's the fact that hitting Kirby and seeing where he goes is pretty fun for me.
Yeah.
And like whether it gets in the hole or not, I'm still just like, oh, he's rolling around. Look at him go. Like, oh, I got this thing. Sometimes the game will give you a choice of 2 different power-ups to get. And it's like, that would be 2 like wildly different routes. And you just have to choose one and see what happens kind of. And like, I don't know. There's something about that's like that's like perpetually exciting to me. Just like I'm gonna hit my boy, and then maybe something will happen.
You love Kirby. That I
also
feel like
love Kirby.
That's kind of like you're the target market of this, right? Is like Kirbifying stuff. There he is.
I just showed
what I actually wrote in my notes is like the problem with Kirby being the ball is you never get to look at Kirby. You're just looking at a rolling pink ball.
Well, sure.
Like, I want to see Kirby in like classic golf gear swinging a club. I think that's funnier. And while you were talking, I was saying what this game actually needs is a caddie. You need Kirby, who knows the course really well, and it's like,
hey, coming up.
I think. And we want to get the parasol so we can fly over the thing.
Well, that's like a real thing in golf, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's real.
It's looking like a 9-iron.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, it's kind of sloped down. I think you need to hit it over here. And then it's like, okay, I can try that. You know, that's fun.
As opposed to like going in fully like sight unseen, just like go.
Oh, I hit a spike, which knocks me off the level, which means I lose an entire life and it's game over.
It speaks to something I clocked because like in preparation for this, I like cooked up a whole shtick that like we haven't even really gotten into, which is like HAL Laboratory has made a lot of golf games, and this was their last golf game. It is the absolute actually, going back into list mode, baby, their actual last golf game was a Satellaview broadcast of Special Tee Shot in 1999.
Okay, dude.
Yeah, dude. But the point is that I played a game of theirs called Jumbo Ozaki No Hole-in-One Professional, which Alon referenced.
Seems good.
Hole-in-one. You didn't play it?
No.
I didn't want to play too much of it because I was like, I don't want to just come on and be like, so Alon, I played this other game.
Tell me about it.
But something I clocked while I was playing this game, and even like NES golf, like any golf game that doesn't, it's any golf game is fundamentally about like how much information you're getting. I think later golf game designs, you choose a certain club and you get a preview of like, this is how far this club hits.
Exactly. It's like the hole's 450 yards away. This club hits at 100. This club hits at 150. This club hits at 200, whatever. The guide in Kirby's Dream Course might as well like not exist. Like it triggers me how confusing the guide is, to be honest.
Well, it's the full length of the guide does not reflect the power of the meter
at all. I feel like I never really got a hold of the power.
You can like sort of eyeball it.
Sort of. like the amount of times that I was a millimeter away from going in, or I hit it a millimeter with too much power and it would just like bounce off the back rim of the hole. I'm like, I couldn't even do that again if I tried. Like, how specific do I have to be here?
That was a common enough occurrence for me, too. Like, either too hard or too soft. And, like, I never knew why it happened.
Well, can I just complain about the guide a little bit more? It's like when you're putting curve on the ball.
Curve on the curve.
So, I'm trying to talk to people who I imagine haven't played the game, but the guide is essentially like a dotted line with an arrow, and that's where Kirby's aiming. And once you put curve on the ball, when you put curve on Kirby,
curve on the curb,
then the end of the guide, the arrow curves in that direction, right?
Yeah.
But if you hit it with less than full power, it still curves the same amount.
So it just does like a tight loop.
Tight loop.
It just spins in a circle.
And it's like, so I'm trying to curve around this whatever cloud and get to this other enemy, but I hit it with a little less power and it just went basically backwards and fell off the map. And I'm like, wait, no, but I hit it with less power. It should have less curve.
The first time I saw it just go in a circle,
Yeah,
I
it
was
just
just
goes
like,
in a circle.
I was just like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
this
toilet
game's
bowl
like,
style.
This game's all it's not fucked up. It's immaculate. But no, I don't totally get why the way that curving works is
so fucked up.
It's not like curve and then even out. It is like it curves and then stays in orbit of whatever.
Yeah, Orbit's a good word there.
Yeah,
it orbits in orbit, and it continues orbiting. Whatever.
And it feels really sick to like know the orbit and like
when you nail it, it's
two
great.
Guys.
It's great,
but it's like it doesn't work in the way where it's like I'm just gonna tilt this to the side a little bit. You can't tilt it to the side a little bit. It's you commit
going
to orbit.
Yeah,
like it's
which, so fucked up.
I don't totally get it, but it's like whatever, dude. Let's fucking go, dude.
Let's go. Let's do it. I wanted to also throw in a caveat. I feel like I'm cutting you off, but I wanted to also caveat that I did not try the multiplayer.
Me neither. So,
and I have a little bit of faith that multiplayer will just be more fun.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like in the way that I was kind of making fun of it before when everyone's like, it's a Mario Kart for mini golf or whatever. But like in that light, I think there's a little bit of truth to it, because if you're playing with a friend and like it's like kind of like sabotage multiplayer, as far as I can tell. You can like hit the other person's ball and knock them out. And like if whoever
you confirmed that? Because I'm literally trying to pull up footage right now to see like, that yellow ball, that's our Kirby.
Wait, so there's Kirby
the ball
and Kirby.
Stays on the board.
Yeah, and you can knock themselves. Yeah. And you can get enemies. Well, like so how do I put this? Once you like suck the ability off an enemy, the person you're playing against the person you're playing against can no longer get that ability. It gets removed from the course.
From the board. Yeah. It's just like, this is my ability.
Yeah. So I have UFO and you just have to hit it normally or whatever. So I can imagine it being more fun, because when stuff is just chaotic and fucked up and the ball didn't go where you go, but you're just playing alone in your room, it's like, that was fucking annoying. Why did it do that?
But if you're like fucking with your friends.
Yeah, you're like on the couch playing it and just like, it's funny. Like I can imagine that being the same thing being interpreted as funny that you fucked up, or like, like, I don't know. It just gives you extra like motive and a different perspective on like the frustration.
It's like, don't hit my ball, bro.
Let back the fuck up.
Sorry, I got to turn off the video. You can't watch a video while recording a podcast. That feels crazy. But I was trying to watch.
I'd rather you not do that. But if you want to do that, you can do that.
No, but the big question I had, you already answered, which was the like both balls on the board kind of thing. And like, you know, that's I like that kind of play where there's like, we're both in this space and we can like mess with each other.
And you know the stars that show up when you hit an enemy?
Yeah.
So when you hit an enemy, they turn into a star. Because that's like how many points you'll get for beating the level or whatever. I mean, long story short,
pass through the star at different speeds, it plays a different pitched jingle.
And the reason it does that is because in multiplayer, you can steal the stars. So if I'm Kirby, the stars are pink, and then it's your turn to shoot as Kirby, and you hit my stars, you can turn them yellow, and
like
you get the point.
You graffiti the stars,
and you're trying to get the most stars. That's the point of the multiplayer.
That's cool.
There's cool stuff that I want to check out on multiplayer that I did not get to check out.
Well, what's that thing your friend made that lets you play SNES on the web? Oh my
god, Telemelt.
This
is a great Telemelt contender.
Check the show notes for Telemelt.
Holy shit. Shout out to Andy.
Probably should have done that in preparation for the episode.
Telemelt, and there's also, I mean, I think it's just on Switch now. Like, I think you can just play multiplayer on Switch also.
You can do online multiplayer with the Switch.
Which is crazy that this 1994 game you can now just like easily play online.
It's theoretically very interesting, but I've never been able to convince anyone to do it.
There's got to be a Discord for that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. So where are we in the conversation? It's sort of just all over the place.
It's all over the place. I feel like we haven't talked about really what it looks like and what it sounds
And what
like.
it sounds like. I think that's what I was when I was referencing like the sound of the stars. Like that's something that like
Yeah.
I feel like we've just glossed over and taken for granted
Yes.
is like
Yes.
how this game sounds.
I think
And
this is
it
one of the
good.
many. No, strike that from the record. One of the very few things from mini club that you lose by doing a mini club before doing a game club.
Oh sure.
Because on the mini club episode, we're both like, it sounds fucking amazing. Like I didn't even press start because the song was so good.
Yeah.
And then we just like
with it.
don't do it on this episode because we're like, you know the music's good. I don't need to tell you.
We've already talked about it. I want to say it's the score was composed by Hirokazu Ando.
Of course.
Who worked at HAL. The compositions are like initially by Jun Ishikawa because Jun Ishikawa feels like is like the main dude who like generated some of the Kirby themes.
Okay.
But then like the two of them worked together a lot through HAL's history. And HAL would go on to just like
Who's HAL?
HAL, Shallow HAL. Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. We're talking about Bryan Cranston on the pod. They only make Kirby games now. This studio, like,
Oh, that's sad.
Basically, like they produced an iPhone game a couple years back called Part-Time UFO, but like they mostly just make Kirby games at this point. And
What
like,
about Box Boy, Box
well, of course,
Girl?
there's Box Boy is great as well. Definitely check it out. But the point more is just I was just riffing on like
someone's screaming outside.
Yo, summer is fast approaching, and the kids in my neighborhood are
popping off,
going to be outside. But yeah, it's. I'm just gonna ride the HAL wave. The big thing I wanted to say way earlier in the episode is the idea of information in a game, information in golf. You wanted there to be a caddie, and the thing that I clocked when playing the earlier HAL golf games is that like those games don't provide information about the clubs either. Like I like basically didn't even bother playing them because it was like I'm not gonna learn. What you just choose a 9-iron and hit it and you see how far it goes.
That's funny. Yeah.
And you're just supposed to be able to, like, the first time I hit a ball in one of the games, I just had my putter equipped or whatever. The point being
and you
that
didn't
like
even know. Yeah.
It's these like far earlier golf design iterations are like, golf, what kind of club this is, right? Or like it's probably in the manual or something. And then Kirby's Dream Course, like, sort of just has you, like, finagling with other, like, kind of information about, like, speed and distance and things like this. And at this point, golf game designs are, like, they're not really about, like, it's more about the chance of, like, what happens after you hit the ball. Like
Right.
Modern golf games give you as much information as possible. And I'm not saying, like, it's better when you don't know, but I think it's like part of the DNA of this Kirby's Dream Course that like you don't really know what's going on,
which is like back to like kind of where we started, which I feel like is kind of that like billiards kind of vibe a little bit, like billiards games. It's like there's a guide and it's gonna tell you like where it's going and where it's gonna like. Maybe it'll show like how it bounces, but it's not going to show like the next 4 bounces and what happens.
And how the balls interact with each other. Pep.
Yeah. So maybe it's similar to that, but I'm looking at some HAL games. I mean, NES Open Tournament Golf looks pretty lit.
Golf, dude. They love.
Well, there's golf in 1984, but then there's Family Computer Golf in 1987, and
Open Tournament Golf
and Hole-in-One Golf.
Hole-in-One was like their like own production basically, whereas these other golf games were like for Nintendo.
Oh, interesting. HAL, dude.
HAL, dude.
This is my Sean impression. HAL, dude.
Bryan Cranston, dude.
Bryan Cranston, Earthbound, dude. They made SimCity 2000 and Pokemon Snap, so I got respect for them.
Yo, Jack and Beans, dude. So I came into this episode being like, are we going to be able to record a full episode about this game? Like, what are we going to talk about? And
the answer is obviously yes, except it's not going to be a 2-hour episode. I can tell you that much.
No,
it's not that kind of.
We're getting close to the end.
We're reaching the end. Yeah.
Because a lot of my notes are just like literally about like, oh, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. And then like the higher level stuff is stuff we've already talked about of like the chance like nature of the game.
Well,
and like,
let me ask you if this made it to your notes. Kirby gives me the finger.
What?
At one point, I have in my notes, did Kirby just give me the finger? I have video evidence because I clipped it when it happened.
Okay.
But it's like one of the like little demos at the beginning of a course. He like does some, I don't even remember what happened. I could like show you the clip eventually, but he then rolls up and just, it's a he, I think. He rolls up and just gives me the finger. So that's just something for you to chew on.
Figure it out. Figure it
out. Maybe that'll make it to a clip. Maybe that's a clippable.
Maybe that's a clip.
Okay, Google, clip that.
Okay, Siri, clip that, chat. The Japanese title of the game. We've hit the reading the notes.
I hate this. This is my least. Let's just not do it. Let's just not do it. Straight up.
The Japanese title of the game is Kirby Bowl or Kirby Ball, which means Wide Flank has gone from ball to L ball to Kirby Ball.
Let's talk about the sound effect of the ball going in the hole because that's pretty fucking pog.
It's like ploop.
That
you do an
good.
impression of it.
Yeah, it's like bloop, and then it goes like it has like a little ball sound.
Yeah,
but it's different if you're using one of the abilities too.
The abilities sound different. Yeah, I clocked that. That felt crazy, dude.
That's cool. That's cool.
I found a YouTube video that was like, this game shares sound effects with Earthbound because they were developed around the same time. But the video was really confusing. And I'm sure like we could do the research to clock like which sounds are shared, but we didn't. We won't.
We didn't.
We're not piping them in.
I have a final note here, and I think it's a note to let you pop off a little bit, but I wanted to comment about like how the game looks, and which like I think there's parts that are cool and poppy and colorful and cute, and then there's other stuff that I found to be like really flat and not that interesting to look at. But my question for you is just kind of like, who's it marketed to? Like, what's a kid's game and what makes a game a kid's game? Because it sort of feels like this is maybe marketed to be a kid's game. And then the follow-up to that is I've never played any Kirby game. So what is Kirby? What is going on?
The appeal of Kirby is...
Yeah, hit me, baby.
I was literally... This question was posed to a bunch of the people working on Kirby's Return to Dreamland for the Nintendo Wii. And they all had different answers, but something they all sort of orbited was like, the game has a little something for everyone. But I truly think it's like... And I can say what my own feelings are about it, but truly I think it is something about like these games. So Kirby was originally designed by Masahiro Sakurai as this game should teach people how to play games. This game should be so like simple in its mechanics, forgiving in its mechanics, and then on a deeper level, like complex in its mechanics.
Interesting.
But like up front, the design choices being made by Masahiro Sakurai are like, this should be like an easy game that anyone can play. And then the extension is like, but hardcore gamers can like it too.
Yeah.
Which like, that's debatable.
That's delicate,
But I think truly it's... Kirby games are defined by like the number of interactions you can have with the game in a way. Like,
what do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
These Kirby games are defined by like the copy ability, because like most of the Kirby games
That's
are
the thing, right?
Yeah, and like each of the copy abilities is its own, like would be the dominant mechanic in another game. But I think I was watching. I'm pulling from all corners of. Well, the
that's
world.
why I saved it for last. I knew this would get you going. This was spark joy.
I literally also at the start of the show, I like was prepared to be like, I love Kirby, but we like didn't even really get into it. So thank you for special teeing me up.
My job on Wide Flank is to give you space to freak out and go bonko.
I think my job is I have to let you sort of work through stuff in your own way.
Yes,
right?
yeah. We both have jobs.
We both have a job to do.
Jobs are so cool.
I was watching the great Jeff Gersman play Kirby's Adventure on the NES recently, and he made observations that I loved, which was like, he was just observing the number of different like interactions you could do with a cross control and 2 buttons was like honestly shocking. It's like you can do like a dive kick. Kirby famously flies. Like it's there's all these, you roll down a hill if you push down on it. It's like even like a basic Kirby game is about just like, it's about, oh man, in the way that like a Mario game is just core like run, jump, momentum. Yeah. Kirby is
platforming at its
the joy
is
it's like more and it's also it's like forward momentum oriented too. I think that's the part of it.
Yeah.
Whereas Kirby isn't really like a horizontal, it's like a horizontal 2D platformer game, but I tend to think about Kirby game designs as like a center that you're like popping out of, because like there's just all these different little things you can do with your guy. Like Mario, Mario don't do very much. Mario duck, Mario jump. Later 3D Mario's introduced a much different, but like Kirby at its most basic is like you can jump, you can dash, you can walk, you can slide, you can eat, you can fly, you can spit. It's like it wants you to explore the full like range of space around your character kind of, and like move through these levels. And that's where it becomes a little contentious about like whether hardcore gamers like these games, because like playing through a Kirby level is just like and like I love these games for that reason. Like I can just fucking chill with a Kirby game, like, and just like see what's happening, and like, oh, and you pick up an ability and you use it for a little while, and then you find a new one and you just mess with that, and the level designs are like not that complex. You just sort of move through them. So what was the question?
No, I mean that you answered all of them. I was kind of just I was asking about like who it's marketed to and stuff, but you answered that. Like it's for like new gamers to get into games. Like it almost feels like, in a weird way, it's like, I don't have a good analogy, but it's like they almost made it to show off this is what games can do. Like, look how cool this is.
Look at all this stuff.
Games may include any of these cool things.
With a big caveat of like, I don't think that's what Kirby's Dream Course is.
No, that's like
I'm talking about like the Masahiro Sakurai designed Kirby games.
All
like
of this is an
Masahiro
argument.
Sakurai is not credited on this video game.
And that's what I was going to say. Like all of
uninvolved.
This is an argument to answer your earlier question, whereas like, is this a Kirby game or is this like a golf game? Like this is not a Kirby game at all. This is a literal cash grab.
But can't you say that Kirby's in it, so it quite literally is a Kirby game?
It's a cash grab all the way on a game that was already made. I just can't see it
and
any other
already
way.
Sick. Like I
and
think
already cool. Yeah.
I don't think that's the legacy of the game either. I think the legacy of this game is like, yo, have you guys played this crazy game?
Yeah.
Whoa. And I don't want the legacy to be they screwed up specialty challenge.
No, it's not that.
Like, it's not that. I like this game as it is. I also like Special T Shot.
Yeah, it's not like Special T is like, oh my God, this is the best golf game I've ever played.
You've got to I mean, you should play Special T Shot.
It's cool. But it's not something that like I'm mad that they touched this, perfect piece of art or whatever.
And it's a weird thing that like in a series that is so much about accessibility, this game is like pretty
not
inaccessible.
accessible. Yeah,
Like,
I found it to
feels
be
like an outlier.
Yeah, like nothing about the controls and the gameplay are straightforward or accessible.
Yeah.
And that is not Kirby, baby. And that is
And-
not Nintendo even, I would say.
It's okay. Yeah.
Like, to me, I know a lot less about specific Nintendo stuff, but to me, Nintendo is about that playfulness and not that difficult and straightforward, and you understand the abilities and you understand the interactions.
Yeah.
And this game, like, does not have that.
This game demands that you like do a lot.
I mean, I had to
Like,
watch
yeah.
20 videos of demo play and a 57-page manual just to be like, I think I know what's going on here.
Sure.
If that ability pops up, I kind of know what to do with it.
The only thing that gave me pause is like the whole thing I'm trying to orbit around is like the game. You get feedback immediately. Like when I think about what's exciting about Nintendo games, it's like I don't even think about it in terms of accessibility. I think about it in terms of like feedback.
Yeah.
Like how quickly does the player get feedback?
That's fair.
And like is playing with an object or whatever. And like but I can walk with the idea that like the whole system of like pointing Kirby and hitting the thing and doing it and like just even understanding what you're looking at is like not as legible as other Nintendo games. But I will say that like that sort of immediate feedback is there. Like this game is all fucked up, but when you start to play it, it's like, oh, this is happening. Oh, okay. Oh, and you either are like, ooh, I want to learn more, or you're like, what am I doing? I don't want to learn more.
I do. Yeah, the pacing is a little off because you have like the difficulty and the amount of stuff they add is just so fast. Where you're like, I didn't even get that's what I was complaining about earlier. It's like I don't even have a feel of this game that's all about feel. Like, I just need some more simple holes where I can just be like, oh, I'm getting good at this. The ball's going the distance that I think it's going to go. But instead, it just immediately has you like hitting off a ramp that like
this
goes
is how
into
you die.
a tree. And you're just like, fuck, I have no idea how hard I have to hit it.
Yeah. It's like you as player need to define like, oh, this looks like an opportunity where I can mess around a little bit, as opposed to the game being like, here, mess around with this.
Which is, you mentioned earlier about ROM hacks, or maybe that was the mini club where you mentioned ROM hacks, but there is apparently a very like lively community of ROM hacks in this game. People are making custom courses all the time.
Yeah, dude.
And I can imagine that being really, really fucking fun and appealing.
Yeah. Just making like a super long half pipe one.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of good stuff in the game, obviously. But I just don't feel like it all came together that well. But with different types of levels and puzzles and stuff like that, I can imagine being really fun. So maybe we got to check that out too.
It's like and I think it also speaks to like the notion that like it's however we feel about this game, it is singular. This is this game.
Totally.
There really isn't games. There's no other game quite like this one.
There's really not. Yeah, totally. So I think that's an episode
of what?
Game Club. And so we'll have to
152 new boards created by the Game Grumps.
Yo.
Or something.
What the hell is that? But that's cool.
Oh, it's like a YouTube channel. It's called Grumps Dream Course, and this all started over a year ago when Danny requested DLC for Kirby's Dream Course. The Game Grumps have been here already. But no, truly some people designed 152 boards.
Oh, and then there's like a whole wiki of it, of like the scores that everyone got on it from like Gamer Grumps or whatever the hell this is.
Game Grumps. I think it's like a big YouTube channel.
Who isn't these days?
Yeah. But who needs Game Grumps when if you get the gold like and subscribe, come on down to the Patreon and give us money. Come on down to the Discord and make a friend for life on the World Wide Web. We're mini club.
Yeah, we'll have
Vote
to
on
do
Mini Club.
wait, so by the time this comes out, will there be a poll yet? I don't know. You
No.
know? I don't know.
No.
Probably not. But
But
you
the
should
mini
get in the
club's
Discord when you
coming
hear
soon.
this so you
Sure.
can be there when there's another mini club with a poll if you want us to talk about something else or whatever.
Yeah, and you, dear listener, can influence the direction of the Wide Flank world.
And Patreon suggests games too, you know? So that's
yeah,
cool.
if you sign up for the Patreon, you get access to a special show and you get to suggest games for the mini club.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Hey, Alon.
Yo.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hey.
Good luck.
Happy gaming.
Bye.
Bye-bye.